everybody. Welcome back to the If I Don't Laugh, I'll Cry show. I'm Christina Johnson, and today we have a special guest. I'm so excited to introduce to you Miss Jaselyn Sotolongo. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist here in Florida with over 8 years of professional experience, currently a doctoral candidate in institutional leadership. Jocelyn sees individuals, couples, and families in private and public service. She believes that people are the experts of their story and possess many strengths that can assist in overcoming things that challenge them. My gosh, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Doing so good. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for coming on, and I'm just so excited to learn more about you today.
Yeah.
Let me get this here. Okay, so we'll just start a little introduction. Your name, where are you from, what do you do?
Yes. So I'm Jaselyn Sotolongo, a licensed marriage and family therapist. I am from Fort Lauderdale. Well, I was born in Jersey, but I've been in Florida since I was 5. So I'm basically a Floridian.
Yes, same.
um, yes. Raised in Hollywood, Florida. Went to Florida State University for my undergrad and then moved back down, started working in probation with the Department of Juvenile Justice. I found out very quickly that that's not what I wanted to do. So I enrolled into a master's program with Nova Southeastern University, got my master's degree in marriage and family therapy, and I've been working and seeing clients since then.
Wow. I love to hear all of that and how you knew immediately that you didn't want to, and you were like, "You know what? I'm going to do and pursue my passion." And
Yes.
you went for it. I love that. I love to hear it because life is too short, you know?
It is. It is. I was studying criminology in my undergrad and I thought that's what I wanted.
Right.
And in theory and in the books, it seemed very interesting to me. I was always that person watching all those like uh, murder mystery shows and documentaries on serial killers and I was like, yeah, I got to get into this. And then I learned very quickly just how restrictive it is and just very black and white, obviously no room for gray. And
Right.
I didn't like that. I was always more interested in what was going on with them, what led to them, being in front of me and getting involved with the juvenile justice system and the courts. And so that was when I was like, okay, I'm playing a therapist here. And I basically played therapist my whole life with family, friends. So I was like, I gotta get paid for this.
You're like, "This is me. This is meant to be."
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. And
my,
it's my passion. I love it. I love what I do. Um it's very rewarding work.
that's so good to hear because you're following your passion, which you truly want to be doing every day. And that just, it not only fulfills, your life, but all of the lives that you're enriching, every single person that comes into contact and meets you, your passion shines through them. And we need people like you. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, so tell me, when did everything change for you? You kind of already answered it when you noticed your passion and you switched. So,
Yes. I also had a moment. 4 years ago I lost my mom and it was not expected. I mean, she had been sick for some time, but she was awaiting a heart transplant, and we had so much faith in that. And when she passed, that changed a lot for me too. I tell you, I had gone already and I had been working as a therapist and I had been seeing clients, but it wasn't until I became the client that I truly understood because I said, I can't see clients for some time. At
absolutely.
that moment, I was working at Marjory Stoneman Douglas, and it was during the time of the mass shooting, and it was
Wow.
something that I didn't want to leave the school. I felt connected to my students and the staff there just because of the whole joint experience of that.
Right.
But I knew I couldn't serve them. I had to remove myself because I was going through my own grief. And so that kind of trumped um, my work that I was doing there, and I took a more administrative role within the district, and I took my time to heal. And it was a different perspective for me being the client there and
Right.
not the therapist. So that kind of changed me.
Well,
Yeah.
first, I'm sorry to hear about your mom, but the that connection between both your personal life and your professional life is that time to heal is so crucial, and the fact that you gave that gift to yourself is such a beautiful thing because you give and give to everybody around you, so it's just great that you decided, I'm gonna take this time and I need to heal for myself because, that's this is my mom, I'm not gonna just jump back into anything, so I really love to hear that.
Yes. You have to recognize that in those moments, you could actually do more harm than good. And I took the time that I needed, and I was so grateful that the district was able to kind of switch me into a different role,
Okay.
not seeing clients. But uh, I'll tell you, when I came back, I feel like such a better clinician because I have had that experience. I feel like I
Right.
can help people on a different level.
Well, it's almost like because you healed and you went through all of the, processing that now it's is it empathy that you or not empathy, it's just you've walked in the shoes and in that past, so you can tell someone, "Listen, it's okay to have these feelings. This is, a family member or, a, classmate," whichever whatever we're talking about, but you're able to really understand on another level that, of course, as a therapist, you already know, by book, right? Like how we should help. But once you experience it for yourself, it's like it's a whole nother level. It's not the book stuff. It's not the
That's
book stuff.
That's exactly right. Like in theory, you know what you're supposed to say. And
Yes.
then there were so many moments where I would look back and be like, I should have never said that. Obviously you know that you're trying your best. And there's just certain things that until you go through it, you know what they say, like the best people to help are those that have actually been through it.
Yes. Wow. It's so true. So true. So when do you mostly feel inspired and alive? Is it when you're working one-on-one? When do you feel most inspired?
It it is when I see a client that has actually made connections and they are doing the work and seeing improvements in their life. So I see many people, couples, families, individuals, and it's like a light bulb goes off. That's when I feel inspired. I'm like, okay, I'm making a difference in these people's lives. It feels really nice,
Wow.
and it's not even about me. I'm just to see people um, doing the work and actually having a better experience, that inspires me to do better work and to continue to try and reach as many people as possible.
Right, and your impact on them when you actually see it kind of penetrate their heart, their soul, you're like, "Yes, this is it. This is it. You've been doing the work. You've been making, strides." And it all starts with like one baby step at a time, but the results and, just seeing on the other side is, wow, it's almost like they get you and whatever told them it actually absorbed through. And so I love to
Yeah,
hear that that inspires you and that's when you feel most alive because it's like your gift and you're giving it away and then you're seeing how, it impacts them in their life because whatever they're coming to you with, whether it's, a trauma or, so many other reasons, the messages that you're giving them are going to impact their whole life. So it's like it really is a beautiful game changer.
Thank you.
My gosh, you're welcome. So the next thing I wanted to just tap into is what is the most important thing that you've learned in your life, personal, professional, whatever you would feel comfortable sharing?
I think that one of the most important things is perspective. Um, the saying, when you're holding a hammer, all you see is nails. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Let's say it's raining, and
Yes.
here in South Florida, it's been raining every day.
Yes.
So you leave the house and you're like, every day I leave the house without my umbrella. And you just allow that to take over your day. When it's not true, we tend to speak in definites, and then it's like, no, you don't leave the house every day without an umbrella, but you only remember the times you leave without the umbrella.
Yes.
So it's you have to decide how you're going to look at the day, your perspective. You have to recognize that you're always doing your best.
Yes.
And in those moments where you think you may not have been doing your best, there are still humble intentions behind whatever it is you were doing. And there's always some type of underlying good in every situation. So
Absolutely.
it's just on you to recognize that, right? Because we can't help the things that happen to us. That's going to continue to happen. But what we
Right.
can help and change is how we react to those things, or how we not react to those things. So,
Perspective.
perspective. It's all about perspective.
Perspective is huge because, like you said, it can impact and change our entire day. I said this on a previous episode that the first 17 seconds of the day is the most important. Right when you
Yes,
open your eyes, that first thought, whatever that first thought is kind of going to frame your whole day. So, what I do the second that I open my eyes, before I look at my phone, before anything, well, I turn the alarm off. But aside from that, is I think my eyes are still pretty much closed, and I say, today is going to be a good day. I have everything I need. Today is gonna be a good day. I have everything I need. So I kind of repeat it a couple times, just, to myself. I don't say it out loud. And then I'm like, okay, I can get up. Today's a good day. It doesn't matter if it's a weekday, a weekend, because every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. And we really have to cherish these days instead of, some people are waiting for the weekend, or, today is a work day, or, whatever's going on in your life is like, listen, we can't change, like you said, the things that happen to us, but we can change how we react to it. And so, yeah, reacting and the perspective is always just try to like see the good in things, but easier said than done.
absolutely. It's
Some
a work.
days, yes. Some days will be easier than others, but I think if we keep the perspective of trying to be a better us, a better me every single day, that's all we can do is do our best.
That's right.
My
It
God.
definitely is a work. It's a practice.
Yes.
No, we're so used to we're our worst critics. We're used to beating ourselves up and being hard on ourselves. And I love that you start your day with intentions. I read an article the other day about what are some things that people with good mental health share, and that's one of them. Setting your
Oh,
day with intentions.
wow.
Another one is that they're just thankful and grateful, and they find the things that they are thankful for, instead of focusing on their shortcomings.
Right. Gratitude. Gratitude. Not every day, but most days I write in my journal and I do this in the morning and I do like a quick gratitude list. It's not like a whole, worksheet. It's just like I jot down like 4 or 5 things that I'm grateful for just to start the day off. And it could be something little, like I'll look over and I'll see my dog and I'm like, I'm so grateful for my little dog that gives me so much joy and never ending, love. And I'll just add, little things. And then when we see them written down, it's something about our physical handwriting versus like typing and like digitally on the computer, physically writing it down. We have
Hmm.
like that stronger mental mind body like connection. And so
That
I
is
love that you
true.
mentioned gratitude that was on that article that you read. Thank you for sharing. My gosh. Let me see here. So what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone that is just starting out?
That's a good one. I would say to have confidence in yourself and know that whatever it is that you are getting into is for a reason. A lot of people, they live with a lot of regret or remorse, or they are focused on the past. And I always say, what's the point of having regret if at that very moment that's exactly what you wanted?
Yes,
So you got what you wanted at that moment.
that's deep.
Yeah. So just have confidence in yourself.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. You know,
Again, easier said than done, and it's a work.
absolutely. There's there's steps to the confidence. It's kind of like you have to do it before you feel ready, you know? Even if you don't feel ready, that's okay. Go for it because
Mm,
for many things in life, we're gonna make mistakes. We're human. We're not computers. We're not robots. We're gonna make mistakes, but that's okay because no matter what it is, we have to take that and learn from it. So what's something that happened recently? Ugh, I gotta think of something, but
yeah.
um, yeah, I gotta think of something here. But before you feel ready, that's the moment to jump because that's when you have it like in your soul and you're like, okay, I want this. But you're
Yeah.
second guessing, can I do it? What if? How will I do it? That's okay. That's okay. The point is that you have everything you need. That's why I love that quote so much because nowadays we do have everything we need. We have all the technology, we have Google, we have YouTube University, we have all of these things at our fingertips that depending on what we want to do, we can at least go for it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And you're absolutely right. A lot of people think that before they start something new or before they have to do something, they need the motivation.
Yes.
And it's quite the opposite. Doing something is what gives you the motivation. Do you ever notice when you have like a long list of things to do, if
Yes.
you're anything like me, you try and do the easiest thing first, and then
Absolutely.
once you do that thing, you're like, "Ah, that wasn't that bad." And then you're like, what else can I do?
Yes. Yes.
Right? So
Listen,
that's
I
what
I
brings
love
the
lists.
motivation. Yes, me too.
I have. Love it. My gosh, the motivation. Now, with motivation, like I feel like we have to give ourselves the motivation. And sometimes like people need it exterior like from other people, but the relationship that we have with ourselves, we have to be able to love ourselves, give ourselves the motivation, have the confidence like you said. And it's it's something that it's the work. It's like it's literally doing the work and loving yourself, which years ago, before I even went on like this whole self-development journey and now sharing with others what I'm learning, I had no idea what the work was. I had no
Mm.
idea what it meant. I don't know if I was just sheltered or I thought it was like woo woo, like, oh, I don't need help. I don't know what was going through my mind. Honestly, it was truly just ignorance of knowing. And now that I know what the work is, it's like you're doing it. If you're putting in that effort and you're focusing on gratitude, loving yourself, um, doing things that make you feel good and joy, and just like our conversation today is like just having amazing conversations with incredible human beings is like the best medicine. It's the best medicine.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the work is not easy. It's never easy to look inside yourself and be like, oh, these are the ugly parts of me that I think need some work. Half the battle is just accepting, coming to acceptance that this is what it is. This is part of my human experience.
Yes.
It's difficult, but it's still beautiful.
I love that. And the human seriously, because it is the human experience, and
Yes.
I'm getting, like, chills just replaying that in my mind because I was having a talk with my husband the other day, and, you know, this is a little deep, but anyways, and we were really saying, like, "What is the purpose of life? What's the purpose of life?" And that's, like, a really big question, and so and so it's like, okay, is the purpose of life happiness? Is the purpose giving to others? The purpose of life is whatever meaning you give it. And so when you wake up every day and you have certain intentions, I want to impact people. It's like it's not about going to work in, I don't know, whatever field someone is in. No, no, no. That is not your life. That's what you're doing for a certain period of time. But while you're here, your human experience is to enjoy. It's a hard question. It's a hard
It is.
question.
Yeah. It's deep. And
Yes.
it definitely means something different to everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so much so that I don't think it can be answered. I'm not quite sure it can be answered.
And I feel like it's always evolving and changing, depending on the different stages of your life. Yeah.
That's also true.
Mhm.
I was thinking the other day that when we go through things, it's almost like a chapter in a book. Like this stage in our life, it's almost like a chapter in the book.
Yes,
And it feels like it's everything right now, whatever we're going through. But in reality, it really is just a chapter because like where were we 5 years ago from now? Not what we're doing today. So it really was not just the past, but it was a chapter of your life where we went through certain emotions, feelings, and experiences, and then all of that it brings, I guess I'll use the word, what is it when it condenses? Not cumulative. I wouldn't say
yes.
culmination, sorry. Cumulative, and those experiences that we've learned from, it's growth, it's maturity, and it's a
Mhm.
new chapter. My gosh.
It is all leading to your reality today.
It is. My gosh. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let me see here. Okay, so you heard one of my affirmations that I say for the morning.
Yes.
Do you have any mantras or affirmations or quotes that you love?
Yes, I do. I'll tell you, one of my favorite quotes, and I have a mantra too, I'll give you both. One of my favorite quotes is something like, "You don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have."
Oh my
Tell you
gosh.
that really stuck with me when I was going through some of the grief in my life. And then a mantra that I'm constantly repeating to myself, and you can put excuse me, any emotion into this mantra.
Okay.
So
Water
it's
break.
like, even though I'm feeling stressed, insert emotion there. Even though I'm feeling angry, even though I'm feeling scared, whatever, I still love and accept myself.
My
That's
God.
the whole thing. And I will fit it in to any moment if I'm angry, sad, scared. Even though I'm feeling scared, I still love and accept myself.
That quote is going on my wall. It's going on my wall.
Yay!
I love that
Yeah.
because it can be used with so many different emotions, and it's almost like comforting when I hear you say that. It feels like a hug.
Yes.
Hearing that, it feels like a hug, and it's going on my board because I need to see that every day. I need
I'm
to see.
telling you, when you're going through it and you say it, it does feel like you're giving yourself a hug. It's so
Yes.
comforting. It's it's you loving and accepting yourself no matter what the experience is.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Oh my
No.
gosh. Now, what else was I going to say? Okay, what is your guilty pleasure? So, we've been through the self-help stuff. Like, let's have a little bit of fun. What
Yes.
is what is a guilty pleasure that you would like to share?
Oh my goodness, spending too much money at Disney World. I
I love it.
I go to Disney way too much, way more than I would like to admit, and it's just my happy place. Anything that has to do with Disney.
Listen, I used to be an annual pass holder.
Yeah.
I stopped because of COVID, and then I haven't like renewed or anything, so it's been a little while, but
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've been to Disney more times than I can count.
Yes.
Probably like there's no way we could put a number on it. And I truly think that I could be blindfolded and probably walk around the park just fine.
Same. Yep.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. And I love that that's your guilty pleasure because I love Disney so
Yeah.
much. So,
Same.
okay, what's your favorite park?
Okay, Epcot. I love
Okay.
Epcot.
I love
I love the
Epcot
whole, the countries
country.
going around the world. I love that.
Yes. I mean, I love going to Mexico because I always get a margarita inside, walk around in the little, I don't know, on the indoor in the shops. I love that.
Yes. Me too. I love how like true and authentic they are. Like you can go to Italy and find
Yes.
authentic Italian perfumes. Like it's just you go to Morocco, they have delicious Moroccan food. It's the best. It's like such a little escape.
Yes. Japan.
Yes.
I have been to real Japan. And also in, in Epcot when we go to Japan and we walk around the Japan area, I'm like,
Mhm.
I really feel like I got transported there for a minute. I love
Yes.
it. I love it so much. And like you said, the traditional food, they always have like traditional snacks and different desserts to try,
Yes.
especially at the Food and Wine Festival. Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Um, my guilty pleasure, and I've shared this before, I like binging shows on Netflix. I
Okay.
Netflix, Hulu, what
What are
is it?
you watching?
Amazon Prime. Yeah, and like last night the Kardashians aired and I
Okay.
was like, "You know what? I have to watch it." And I know that that is a what's the word? People don't like them. A lot of people have hate towards them, and I know that they are not perfect people, but the show, it allows me to disconnect from whatever I'm doing in my life, and I'm just absorbed in the TV, and it's kind of a numbing experience if I'm being honest, but it's something that I that I do, and I guess it's my guilty pleasure.
Well, watching your favorite TV programs and movies, it's completely mindless. Like it's that's what you do to that's what we do to decompress,
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
coping.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Always happens at night with the feet up on the couch.
That's right.
Now, let me see here. I wanted to just ask you a question, something that we had spoke on before about, or not before, but earlier you were speaking about before you left Marjory Stoneman Douglas in Parkland.
Yes.
happened. So it was February 14th, the day that the event happened, the shooting. What
Mhm.
were you doing that day?
Wow, that's a good question. So it's interesting because that morning there was like a drill or something, some type of drill where we all had to line up in the field or in the parking lot that was outside of the building.
Mhm.
I coincidentally that day, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I was just seeing my clients. I had to see a certain amount. So I was just going through it and I
Yeah.
happened to leave, which I think this was a divine intervention. I left 20 minutes early that day, which my office is in the building where the shooting happened. So I always park my car in the student parking lot because um it was closest to my building, and
Okay.
I would leave a little earlier than when the students left because
Right.
I never wanted to be caught up in the
Right.
traffic of like getting stuck behind the students.
Right.
So I would always leave a little early. Well, that day I happened to leave 20 minutes before all the shooting started. And so I was so lucky to I couldn't tell you how often I thank my lucky star, and that's not even the first time I've been close to an experience like that either. Because during my eighth grade field trip, we took a trip to the Twin Towers, and I have receipts from like being in that building almost 2 days right before
What?
the yeah. So it's like this is I can only explain it as like a divine intervention because just some of the stories and things that I have heard from families, I am so blessed and lucky to have not been there during that moment.
I I can't even tell you right now that I have chills
Yeah,
just hearing about both because
it's
the tw
insane.
yeah, I mean, the Twin Towers 2 days before, that's incredible. Like,
I
what are the odds? There are no odds. It's just divine intervention, and, you are an angel sitting here today, and you are here, and you're serving others, and you're living in your purpose, and you survived 2 tragedies, 2 tragedies
It's insanity. I can't explain it.
in other states. So you used to live in New York? Yes.
No, actually, I was in going to school down here in South Florida. We took an eighth grade field trip.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
yeah,
Well, thank you for sharing both of
yes.
those stories with us. I I think that your story for both of those, not only is it unique, it's your individual story, but it really is something that we not only could we not plan, but it's just the day and the day it unfolded, like, my words are not even coming out because it's so impactful that you're here today.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
It's incredible. I I I can't explain it as just, again, a divine intervention.
It is. Wow.
Yeah.
My gosh. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I can't believe it. Wow, wow, wow. Now, what projects are you working on now? I know we mentioned in the beginning about you're studying for your doctoral.
Yes, that is my whole life right now. I am in dissertation, which is a very time-consuming, tedious process, and I'll be so happy when it's over. Because I pursued this doctoral degree and I hate research. And I am now at the point in the program where I have completed all the class requirements and I am strictly just in the dissertation portion and it's all research. So um, that is taking over my life. Aside from a little self disclosure, I'm also going through renovations here in my house, which is also consuming and Um, stressful.
Absolutely. Been there. I know it's frustrating. You just want something to get done. It takes longer than we anticipated and waiting for things to come in and something is out of stock and I
I'll tell you, and trying to do renovations after COVID. I've never even done renovations in my life, but the fact that it's like there's all these shortages and everything is
Oh
always out of stock and there's delays in delivery. 10 out of 10 do not recommend.
gosh. Wow. Well, okay,
Yeah.
no renovations here then.
No, no, no.
No
Don't do
renovations
it.
here. Oh my gosh. So how much longer do you have, how much longer are you gonna be working on your dissertation?
I hope to be done by the end of this year. I'm
Okay.
I'm at the point where I am now in the thick of the research portion, and I'm hoping to be fingers crossed by December.
Okay. Fingers crossed. We're here supporting you.
Thank
I know you're
you.
gonna do great. My listeners know you're gonna do great. Thank you so much for sharing everything. Um, any last words, anything you want to share?
No, I'm just so thankful and appreciative of you, Christina. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. And I'm so happy that we connected in person on a random day that I was up, up
Me
in the
too.
office. And it's it's just amazing how we can meet people and really welcome them like that's it. We're friends now.
Yes,
You are a part of my life. You're a part of my listeners' lives and just hearing your stories it enriches me and I'm just so happy that you're here to be honest. Now if this is for the listeners, if you guys want to connect with Jaselyn, sorry I mispronounced your name
no,
earlier.
you got it.
No, no, okay. Shoot me a DM and I will send you her contact info if you have any questions, anything you want to go over that, you want a little bit more clarification on, message me and I will send you her contact info. Now, let me pull this up here. So as you know, we always end every episode with an inspirational quote. And so let's see. Okay, today's quote that I have here is by Buddha, and I read this in this new book that I have. It's in my room, so it's not here next to me now. And it says, "If you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down.
Ooh,
If you want to
love
fly,
that.
give up everything that weighs you down."
Yes.
And the second I saw that, I knew that I wanted that for our episode, but it resonated with me because when I think of a weight that was weighing me down, it puts me back in 2020 when I was working full time as a dental hygienist in an office that I did not like being in, did not want to be in. I wasn't I wasn't feeling fulfilled and I was stressed every single day, full of anxiety. Stomach was in knots every single day. And so when I left that situation, the amount of weight that came off my shoulders, I feel like I lost 50 pounds or something. Like it's indescribable. The knots in my neck, everything like went down and it's it's
Wow.
true that if something in your life is weighing you down, if you wanna fly, give up everything that weighs you down, and so, I'm flying now, I'm flying here with you, and I wanna thank you for being here today with us.
My pleasure.